Although Quebec is known for many things, it's probably best known as home to one of the most vibrant and exciting cities in North America, Montreal. A historic and multicultural place that pulses with energy. What makes Montreal particularly amazing is that it also provides easy access to outdoor activities and world-class paddling opportunities, both outside and inside city limits. Just to the east of the big city, you'll find a very different part of Quebec. The eastern townships are known for their charming small villages, incredible food, and beautiful waterways. And with 4 national parks in the region, it's a place that prides itself on maintaining a strong connection with the outdoors. Endless surfs, wicked nightlife, and pristine waterways. This week on Facing Waves, we're exploring Montreal and the eastern townships.
It's a new day, our time the champion. Act like you know it's the anthem. Get ready for the light show. Show. Thunder's coming, yep. Get ready for the light show. Show. Thunder's coming, yep. Get ready.
Located on the southern edge of Quebec, only an hour's drive from the New York and Vermont border, you'll find Montreal, Canada's second biggest city and one of the liveliest places you'll ever encounter. It's a place that embodies Quebec's joie de vivre, or love of life, and that welcomes visitors like few other big cities do. Although the city itself is enough reason to visit, one of the things that makes Montreal unique is the incredible access it provides to world-class outdoor adventure activities. But what's even cooler is what you can do without even leaving the city limits. And that's exactly what Luke Hopkins is here to explore. And so he's hooking up with Hugo La Victoire of KSF, a local surf, kayak, and paddleboard school.
So Hugo is from KSF. He owns KSF and he is taking people out on the St. Lawrence and teaching them how to surf. What an awesome job that is, and also what a great way to spread what is here to go surf in the Montreal area. So KSF has access to all these great waves, from Habitat 67, the Bunny Wave, and even coming out and surfing Big John. It's a great series of 3 waves to surf because you have the Bunny Wave, which is very easy to surf. It's a great way to learn like the basics of surfing, and then you kind of graduate from that and move on to Habitat 67, which is a little bit more challenging, but still like an awesome wave. You can catch it from shore. And then after those 2 waves and you've mastered that, you're pretty much ready to surf Big John. What I mostly associate surfing with is actually sand and salt water. But here in Montreal, surfing is totally different. There's no sand, there's no salt water, but there is this beautiful clean water of the St. Lawrence rushing through the city and rolling through these huge river waves that you can catch and have the endless surf. Catching a river wave and catching an ocean wave is kind of similar in the sense that the wave is behind you and you're waiting for it to get to you. But when it comes to river waves, you're actually going to the wave. So the wave is in one place and you're coming in from above and dropping into it and you're paddling as hard as you can. The last thing you want to do is miss the wave and don't get that surf that you wanted to have. So you got to paddle as hard as you can, and once you paddle and catch it, then you can kind of surf on your belly, or if you catch it on a stand-up paddleboard, you can catch it standing and move out on the shoulder. And once you're on that shoulder, you're in kind of the safe zone where you can practice doing some moves and carving around. It's really fun. It was easy to catch, and once I was on it, it was glassy, smooth, like a big, long ocean rolling wave. But the best part is, it never ended. I just kept surfing and surfing and surfing. It was awesome. The waves of the St. Lawrence are perfect for teaching. The KSF crew is out there teaching others how to catch waves, catch it in the right spot, They even had surf instructors out there on the wave on each side, and they were guiding the customer to come down and drop it in the right spot. It's an amazing thing to have surfing being taught in such a cool environment, so close to Montreal, and a wave that they can catch and actually have a surf that's longer than any surf you could really have in the ocean. Oh man, that was awesome. It's kind of the never-ending surf. Once you catch it, you're just stuck in there, surfing forever. That was fun. The other aspect of surfing in Montreal is that you're surfing in the city. The city landscape is right there. I remember when I was out there surfing on the wave, there was a big cruise ship that came into the port and pulled up, and you could see it over the Habitat 67 building. It's just an amazing thing to see all these things going on, and there's surfing in the midst of all of it. And in the midst of all the beautiful restaurants, there's nice plazas to walk through, and there's just beautiful places to see things, go shopping, go out and have coffee, go out and have a meal. How do you hold this thing? Strategy, it's like eating a burrito without sides and tops. That's good. Wow, that was the best smoked meat sandwich I've ever had. Now let's go have some fun.
Facing Waves is brought to you by Québec Original. Facing Waves is brought to you by Body Glove. Create happiness.
It's gonna be good. I love paddling on rivers, so this is kind of what I live for. We started off the day hooking up with Hugo and going out to the bunny wave, which is this great wave, easy to surf, super fun actually, real wide wave. So Hugo and I were just surfing side by side, carving around. It's a great feel, and it's a great warm-up to running Lachine Rapids, which has huge waves. So what do we expect to see down here?
Lots of water, lots of water. We have, like I said earlier, 13 meters of drop.
Of gradient. So the river goes down 13
meters from where we start to where we're gonna end.
Wow, so that's almost like 45 feet, really.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and it's gonna be for about 5 kilometers length. So you can see now the current going a bit faster and few waves. There's few waves to surf on the way down, but they're one shot.
Yeah, can we stop and try to surf some?
We can, maybe if we do a 2-run.
Yeah,
but at the
because
first,
then we'll know where we're going.
Exactly, because the last thing I want is maybe
you surf the wave, I'm like,
exactly, where do you go? So I won't be a good guide if I let you by yourself going down the Lachine Rapids.
Maybe on the second run.
Maybe on the second run. Yeah, Louis is a good wave to try to catch on the way down.
Yeah, cool. Paddling down Lachine Rapids, especially when you've never been down it before, this huge wide open landscape of rapids and rolling stacks of water. As you're paddling down, there's current swirling everywhere and boils coming up. And it was great because I was behind Hugo. Hugo's an expert. I'm very experienced on rivers, but he's an expert on this river. So today I was doing everything I could to get down the whole rapid standing, which is a super challenge. You got currents underneath of you that feel like a sea monster that's grabbing your board and torquing it around. And then you go through the flat swirly sections and it feels like something's pushing your board around. But I still actually managed to get down the whole rapid standing up. And then we got down to the very bottom where Big John is. Big John's right there at the end of the rapid. It's the best place to surf because if you fall there, you kind of can just paddle off into the eddy and it's nice and flat water afterwards. What was awesome about surfing is when you catch it, it's instant exhilaration. You just come racing down the wave super fast. It was really fun watching Hugo surf as well. He was on a great board for just carving around and slashing up the wave. I think what I most like about surfing river waves, especially these on Lachine Rapids and on the St. Lawrence, is that they're smooth, glassy waves that stay forever. They don't end with landing on a beach and disappearing with a surf that might only be 5 seconds or 10 seconds, which would be a long surf in the ocean. But here, a long surf is 5 to 10 minutes. It's the amount of time that most surfers have on waves throughout the whole year combined. You could get that ride time on ocean waves all year, all in one surf out here on a river wave. A river wave just keeps on going and going, and as long as you can stay on it, you can keep on surfing. The Pyramid Wave and the Big John Wave and that whole stretch right there is the ultimate place to surf a kayak or surf a paddleboard, and it's really for experts only, so make sure you are an expert and you're with an expert like Hugo. Montreal is such a dynamic city. In the midst of the city, you got this really awesome canal that has all these big boats that are passing through it. And just beyond the canal is the full current of the St. Lawrence River and home to Lachine Rapids and all these great surf waves. So if you come here to go surfing, you're gonna get the benefits of all these beautiful amenities and things to do, from eating out and walking around town and staying in nice hotels. It's a beautiful city that's just dynamic in every kind of way.
Facing Waves is brought to you by Aquabound, highest in performance, lowest in weight, engineered to inspire. Facing Waves is brought to you by Body Glove. Create happiness. Bordering the states of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, Quebec's eastern townships, known by the French as Cantons-de-l'Est, is found only a few hours from the nation's capital, Quebec's capital, as well as the second biggest city in Canada, Montreal. But despite being so close to such a large number of people, the region's small towns and villages have maintained their charm, which is why they're a popular destination for vacationers. The rolling hills, winding rivers, clear lakes, and 4 national parks in the region also make it an adventure traveler's dream, with endless outdoor activities to choose from during the day and a smorgasbord of dining options afterwards. Not to mention 19 microbreweries. That's right, 19. Unfortunately for me, I'm not there to enjoy them. Instead, stand-up paddler Alex Keller is exploring the region, and her adventures get underway in Frontenac National Park, which sits on the shores of Lake Saint-François. Known for its rich biodiversity, Frontenac Park has over 200 bird species, 30 mammals, and a 1,000-year-old peat bog, which according to the locals, we have to check out. And so Alex is meeting up with Stéphane Poulin, who's going to show her around.
Stéphane took me through what almost looked like a rainforest. It was so lush and so green. The ground was covered in this beautiful moss. There were orchids and flowers and just this amazing place to adventure. And then the landscape changed drastically as he took me into the peatlands.
We are really close to the peatland. And because of the peat that grow here, there's a lot of humidity still in the ground, and this humidity will affect the vegetation around us. So why we have a lot of tree dead over here is because probably there's too much water on the ground, so they die, and other younger tree will take their place. That's why there's so many dead trees over here.
Because of the wetness of the peat, they had this really nice walkway that we were able to go to. And in the middle of the peatlands, they had this big tower that we could view the entire landscape from. And from the view, we got to see the peatlands and these really unique waterways that are specific to this region. Stéphane was able to explain to me the reason why the water in the lake and in the rivers is so pristine. When it rains or from ice melt, the water is filtered through the peat moss that's there in the land, and it then goes into the rivers and the streams, but it acts as a filtration system, keeping the waters pristine and perfect for the fish and the other wildlife that live there.
Having seen the park from land, Alex is excited to check it out from the water. And so the two of them head to Lake Saint-François to continue exploring by stand-up paddleboard.
Grand Lac Saint-François is a lake, one of the big lakes in the southern Quebec, 51 kilometers square. And here is one of the two big bays we have in the Frontenac National Park. This bay is the Muskrat Bay.
All of this where we're paddling now is protected.
Protected. In this bay, the maximum speed is 10 kilometers an hour. So it's usually really quiet to paddle, kayaking, canoeing. And people are really great to respect it and share their lake.
Facing Waves is brought to you by Québec Original. Join our online paddling community on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Leaving Frontenac National Park, Alex heads south towards the mountains found near the Vermont border. She's on her way to Au Diable Vert, a unique outdoor center that sits high in the Sutton Mountain Range and provides incredible views of the area. But the best way to see the countryside is from the vélo volant, or flying bicycles, which provide a unique perspective of the forest's canopy.
Super excited to be here today at Au Diable Vert at Vélo Volant, or the Canopy Cycle Tours, where today I get to cycle through the treetops.
Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you, I'm good to go.
The Vélo Volant is the first of its kind in Canada, and topping out at 100 vertical feet off the ground makes it the highest in the world. Although it's not intended for the faint of heart, unlike zip lines or other canopy tours, the Vélo Volant is not designed to be a challenging course, but a relaxing way to see the forest and get stunning views of the surrounding mountains and countryside.
The sights, the sounds, the environment is so calming. It's so beautiful. I'm seeing mountains, I'm seeing waterfalls, I'm seeing the trees and all of the animals that live there. This is just a view that's unlike anything else that I've experienced.
Having got a bird's eye view of the eastern townships, it's time for Alex to explore more of the incredible waterways that the region has to offer. And so she's meeting up with William Hogg, a local guide who's going to show her down a beautiful section of the St. François River that passes right through the center of the biggest town in the region, Sherbrooke.
Well, we sure lucked out on the weather.
I know, because this is late September or almost, and most of the time you'd be in a sweater. And
Yeah. No, it's perfect. The paddle on the Saint Francois River was really unique in that we got to start in nature. We actually started in this beautiful park, and as we paddled through, we got to see all of the trees and nature, and the water is actually really, really calm and really placid. You could see the reflection of the blue sky and the trees on the river.
the area itself was first settled back in the 1600s, mainly by the English. And then after the War of Independence in the States, a lot of the loyalists who were pro-Britain moved up and settled in the area.
Okay, hence Sherbrooke?
Yeah, exactly, hence Sherbrooke. And many of the towns in the area you'll find are called English names as well. And it was only until the sort of the mid-1800s that more French settlers started moving into the area. But today it's majority French, but there's a very strong history of English and French relations in the eastern townships.
Alex and William soon find themselves passing through the heart of the city of Sherbrooke. Although it's always interesting to transition from the wilderness to an urban environment, in Sherbrooke it doesn't feel unnatural. Because here, like the rest of the eastern townships, the town feels like a natural extension of the landscape, a place where you can enjoy fantastic urban amenities, but still feel connected with the land around you.